Okay, so thank you everybody for attending this webinar. I'm very pleased to share the great news that we will be releasing soon GAIA. So what is GAIA? GAIA is our Gatewatcher artificial intelligence assistant. So just 1 minute to give a little context. So I'm Philippe Gillette. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Gatewatcher, and I am in charge of all the R&D and development teams. And I'm with Xavier. Xavier, if you can
Hello,
talk a little
everybody. My name is Xavier Rousseau. I'm Solution Architect Director at Gatewatcher and working closely with Philippe about our products.
Thanks. So we will present you today GAIA, the use case, the possibilities that will be available in GAIA. I'm pretty sure that we will meet all your expectations and that with your help, we will have the most powerful AI assistant in the cybersecurity space. So during 10 to 12 minutes maybe, I will explain GAIA in details. And after, Xavier will do a live demo for about 10 minutes. So if you have questions, 5 minutes will be dedicated to question and answer. You have a chat on the right, so you can ask question anytime, and I will check at the end to ensure that we will answer your question. So let's start now with a little introduction on generative AI, and GAIA. So let me share. So does everybody sees the presentation? Yes, it's okay. All right. So just before we go in deep detail about GAIA, just a reminder about what is a LLM and the generative AI. So as you all know, we all discover ChatGPT and LLM, and a lot of people were talking about use case and what we could do with LLM and ChatGPT. So, of course, the attackers first try to use ChatGPT, for example, to improve their attacks. And at Gatewatcher, we initiated a team. We dedicated a team from day one for that because we thought from the beginning that it could change our life. It could change the way we use Gatewatcher on a day-to-day basis. So we think that Gatewatcher AI GAIA will revolutionize cybersecurity approach on network detection, threat hunting, investigation, and response. And GAIA will be available in two different ways, integrated in Gatewatcher's product. So you will see when you will open Gatewatcher interface, you will see GAIA on a standalone web interface, because we think that you will have the use of GAIA even if it's not directly on Gatewatcher product. So just because we work in cyber, we think that generative AI it introduces a lot of opportunities, but it introduces a lot of concerns too. So let's see how we handle your requirements. When you use generative AI, you have a need of data privacy and process control. So what we do is we are sure that data is secure and your privacy is not exposed. I think we all know that there are a lot of stories about ChatGPT and using very sensitive files on ChatGPT, and so you expose a lot of data, and you don't want that. So from the beginning of our work, we wanted to be sure that we constrain our AI to be sure that we don't expose private data. And on the other side, we are sure that we don't use customer data to train the model. We don't need your data. We have enough data, and don't worry about that. And we want to be sure that you won't use your data. We will not never use your data in our model. Storage. we use strong encryption, and on the transport, we use strong keys and algorithm. And the LLM is fine-tuned entirely secure. It's something we do from the beginning at Gatewatcher because we use a lot of hardening in our product because in France, with the French government, we have strong requirements about cybersecurity in our own products. So we use the same way on generative AI. And we want to avoid hallucination and hazard. For that, no miracle, you need very good quality of data sources, and you need unicity. If you have good quality of data sources and unicity, you avoid hallucination and hazard. So now let's go to GAIA and the objective of GAIA. As you can see, there are 6 objectives. One of them is called augmented SOC. Augmented SOC, inside you can find, for example, the explanation of complex alerts. So let's just imagine you have an alert on Gatewatcher, and you want to know. It's very complex because it's a new APT, and you don't have the skills to understand fully how it's working. So you can ask GAIA, okay, GAIA, give me context, give me information about what I see. Is it a shellcode? Is it something? Is it an obfuscated PowerShell? Something very complex. And GAIA will be able to explain with very simple words what's going on. For example, it's very good for correlation because correlation, we know that in SOC, you lose a lot of time to find alerts, to find metadata, to correlate metadata between firewall, between Gatewatcher product, between EDR, many things. So GAIA can correlate directly. So this is one of the objectives. The other one is operation enrichment. For example, you have an IP address, and you see this is a source of a lot of cyber attacks. So what you can say is, GAIA, okay, give me context about this IP address. I want to know everything about this IP address. And so you can, GAIA will check, for example, on last InfoSec security, which is our threat intel, can go to virus total, for example, or anything like that. Another thing, and very, very, very important topic, is about orchestration and remediation. Orchestration and remediation because we want to be sure that we act as soon as possible with GAIA. Now we see that attackers go more and more quick, are very quick to attack and to extract data from companies. And so we want quick remediation, quick orchestration. So we can interact with EDR, firewall, XDR, OCT files, for example. So you say, okay, I've seen an attack. GAIA, please, can you check if there are an EDR on the machine and block the attack, quarantine the machine? Okay, but I think maybe one machine is communicating with a CNC. Okay, GAIA, please block all these IP address on the firewall, and it executes. So you see, it's a day-to-day basis assistant to win a lot of time in your SOC. Another objective is an interactive assistant on Gatewatcher product. Configuration, troubleshooting, knowledge base. For example, and you will see in the live demo with Xavier, you can ask GAIA, okay, I want to start my sensor. I want to modify the MTU, for example. Okay, I want to export my logs to somewhere. Okay, GAIA, do it. Just do it. And it will apply. Reporting assistant, for example, if you want exec summary, if you want notification, for example, okay, GAIA, let's say you have an alert of a type you are looking for. Okay, GAIA, if you see this kind of alerts, please send me directly an email on my personal email on my phone, for example. And last is operational cyber assistant. For example, let's imagine that you see a new vulnerability on the web. You are aware of the vulnerability, and you want to generate a rule for this vulnerability. So you can ask GAIA, okay, I have seen CVE something, generate a rule, apply it on my sensor, and please tell me if it's good and if it's applied, and send me an email if you see something that is seen. So you see, GAIA will be on a day-to-day in your SOC, and you will be able to do a lot of tasks with GAIA. So, quick win with GAIA. So you will see that version 1 includes a lot of exciting feature, very exciting feature. We are very, very pleased to present this feature, and more to come quickly. Evolution day-to-day of GAIA with your feature request. It means, please, if you have a specific need, if you see a very interesting use case with GAIA, okay, just tell us. No problem. We will include it. No additional infrastructure requirement. Don't install anything in your company. No special requirements. It's immediately operational. Install it. It's okay. It's operational. And no training required. We don't use the data, as we said, so no training at all. And now, let's go with Xavier. Xavier? Xavier, t'es mute.
Sorry.
Xavier?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad. Thank you, Philippe. Oh. So, in fact, let me first jump into day-to-day use cases and not directly to the demonstration. I would like just to review with you some benefit of this kind of assistant. Regularly, in terms of administration, you have to deploy new security controls such as an NDR like us, network detection and response. And maybe you would like directly to apply the initial configuration and automatically to synchronize the probe with the management. So it's some kind of boring task that you can do with your assistant. Although today you have more and more security controls and you need more and strong interoperability between each security devices. And in our case, for example, you will be able to say to GAIA to talk with your firewall, with your EDR, so your endpoint detection and response solution, and so on. But another challenge that you are facing is that when you identify something suspicious, you need to qualify it. And it might be very challenging for you because you don't have all picture about what's going on, what is the timeline, what is the source. And it's very easy today, especially with generative AI, to hide some information and to entice the customer to click on malicious link or to open a malicious attachment. So with GAIA, you are able to qualify, for example, a weird email and to figure out if it's a phishing and how much is harmful. Another thing that you have to do regularly is to define your policy. I'm pretty sure that regularly you are getting an email saying that, hey, you have to protect against this new vulnerability. And here, GAIA, and you will see into a short demo, the fact that GAIA will be able to generate the signature for you to deploy into the probe that you are targeting. And here, you quickly deploy your new security policy. Another point mentioned quickly by Philippe previously, it's the enrichment. When you are getting an alert, I just explained that it's very hard to qualify it. You need more input, more information. And CTI, you have a lot of CTI in the world. We have our own CTI, but here you have a quick access to this CTI. Okay. And you will be able to say, okay, I got an alert, but can you explain to me the IOB, the indicators of behavior? What is this command? What is this domain reputation? What is this IP reputation? What is this malware? Is it recognized as malicious on VirusTotal? It's all of this kind of enrichment that you are able to do. And as I mentioned, afterward, because you have a strong interoperability with your other security controls, you are able to do endpoint remediation. So meaning that from the same console, you will be able to say, okay, I have this alert, but Jesus, I have this. So I need quickly to interact with my Sentinel-1, for example, or CrowdStrike or whatever. But you don't want to leave one screen, one dashboard to jump to another screen where you have to identify and then take actions. here quickly you will be able to say to, hey, Sentinel-1, I need that. Hey, Palo Alto, I need that. Hey, Fortinet, I need that. And it will do it for you. Before to jump to the live demo, I would like quickly to show you some quick video, not the more interesting, but not the less one, but which is very important. First of all, it's GAIA. I saw some question on the chat. So GAIA, it's not OpenAI, okay? It's our own infrastructure, it's on our model. And so it's taking a couple of seconds to answer. Why? Because GAIA is interacting with our documentation and our knowledge base as main data feed. Meaning that here I will explain to you that it is able, as I just explained to you, to create reporting, to do enrichment, to be able to interact with your security ecosystem. So it's the first thing. Here you have a good summary of GAIA capability. Another thing, it's the administration. As I said, when you are deploying a probe, maybe you are facing some issues with network connectivity and your network admin say, hey, you need to change the MTU. So the maximum size unit that you can use, to communicate from network to network. And here you will say, I don't know, and I don't want to read a documentation. And here, boom, Yaya will tell you, okay, you need to use this command, okay, to change your MTU. And you have to change this parameter because this parameter is doing that. So you have a kind of education in addition of just the answer itself. Another interest is, as I said, in terms of operation, maybe day to day you set a flag to say, okay, I did it. I qualify, I react according to this alert. So please provide to me a script which will be able to me to quickly identify what is done. And look, it will provide to you a Python script with all information, all APIs that you have to do. And the answer, again, is coming from the documentation, but also by parsing or Swagger or full API, and will lead you step by step with this full code about what you are supposed to do. And as you can see, you have comment. So easy to integrate at the end. Another use case I mentioned about integration, but the integration can be will be depend obviously of the security control, the EGR, the firewall, or whatever. But also you can use different kind of programming language. You might use a curl script, you can use Python, you can use Ruby, whatever. And here you can ask directly to GAIA to do that in order to accelerate the integration of other security devices with GAIA and Gatewatcher products. So we have to wait a little bit because, as I mentioned, is parsing or Swagger or documentation or knowledge base. And here I'm asking to him to provide multiple than one just script. I would like curl and Python. And boom. Again, I have my Python script validated by our QA, and we have the curl script. So the curl would be more for testing and the Python for long-term scenario. Okay. And as I mentioned, for the fine tuning, I work for a COC, okay, Security Operations Center, and fine tuning can take a lot of time. So here, for example, I'm getting a request to create a new signature for this CV 22AC 27997. And this one was a big impact. Okay, I'm sure you heard about it. It's against the Fortinet, unfortunately, and it impacted a lot of customers around the world. You got 300,000 open VPN SSL open and reachable from public address. So here you have the actual signature that you need to enforce into your product. And I say, okay, so you created the list, but can you list now the list of probes that I have on my network? Okay, so it will connect to the G Center. So on the left, it's the management of Gatewatcher named G Center. And in G Center, here I will check, and here I have the list of all the 3 probes connected to my management. And here, this one, it's the ID 35. So I will say, okay, so can you tell me which policy is currently applied to this probe? So it will connect to this, and it will tell to me, okay, you have currently this policy. So just wait a little bit. And here it's saying to me, okay, I have a north-south rule set. Okay, we have the same. So I'm not necessarily I don't need necessarily to request this. It's just to show you that he has the full knowledge and the full capability to request API and so on. And now I would like, hey, add the rule that you show me before into this rule set. So it is supposed to return to me an SID. Yes, okay, it's inserted. Great. So here, in few minutes, few seconds, you were able to apply a task which traditionally is taking maybe a day. So let me now jump to the live demo. Excuse me. Okay, so here we have our NGR. Okay, and we have some alerts, as you can see. And in this alert, you can see we have Cobalt Strike. Okay, so we will investigate it, and I would like to know more about this alert, so we will go to alert summary. So we are jumping into the hunter mode, okay? And here it's our integrated solution to do deep investigation. So as soon as we did some investigation, I cheat a little bit, I created the full timeline. And here we can see that we have a Cobalt Strike signature. Cobalt Strike, famous tools used by adversary. And here it's making a C2 channel. You can see the TTP from MITRE attack. And look, oh Jesus, you have an active phase. So you need to block this C2 channel. So what I will ask to GAIA is to block this IP. So for that, I need the IP of the C2. Okay, sorry. And here we have the IP of the C2 that I would like to block. So now let me ask to GAIA block this IP. So I have a Fortinet here, and you have no IP blocked so far. Let me refresh to show you that it's not tap dancing. So it's taking a few seconds. It's a demo effect. Okay, no IP. GAIA, we are okay. We got the answer from Fortinet. If I'm refreshing again, boom, the IP is blocked. So the first step, block the C2 is done. Let me show you the opposite. So we are blocking. So again, I'm going to the F5 as soon as I'm getting the answer to show you that the IP was removed. Okay, so now F5. And here we go. The IP is not there anymore. Great. So we just talked about this. So as you can see, sometimes it's taking a couple of seconds. And in order to answer to why, let me ask the question to GAIA. So I copy paste the question, and I'm asking to GAIA, how did you proceed to do that? And Philippe, in the introduction, talked about security, about privacy, and it's very important to talk about this quickly. So in fact, GAIA will ask the question to a middleware. And this middleware, you will see into the answer, will be like a bastion. Is aware about your credentials, so it might be connected to your actual bastion, which is allowing you to connect to your Fortinet, to your Palo Alto, but GAIA has no knowledge about, okay, here. So he will first of all check that you are requesting to block a certain IP, that this IP is not part of a whitelist, because you are sure that you don't want to block some IP. So you have a control. The control will not leave some space for other, for hallucination. As I mentioned, is using JW Notify, and JW Notify will guarantee the control of the request and will enforce afterward the block and the unblock command, as you can see here. Okay, but as I mentioned, only JW Notify is aware about your credential, not GAIA, meaning that if you have your bastion, JW Notify will connect to the bastion and will do the job. Okay, so it's a way to prevent your privacy. So afterward, it will request some API and so on. Okay, so it's very detailed and very honest approach. So we blocked our C2, and now we need to have an action into the endpoint. So let me connect to the Windows to show you. Okay, so we have a Windows. So I will open the command line and we will do a ping on google.com. And so just to show you the connectivity, and I will open the EDR, so Sentinel-1 here, which is a partner. So you can see that the policy is enforced. So now after investigation, if I'm checking the timeline, we can see that, oh, okay, I saw some activity on my endpoint environment, and I saw that, oh, there is a lateral movement from a machine A to machine B, and I can qualify it because I have the mitral attack technique. But look, it was initiated, man, and I can observe that you have command execution. And worse than that, man, you have exfiltration. Jesus. Okay, I stopped the C2, but now I need to isolate this machine. Because if I first of all block the C2, if I block the C2, in order to prevent that the malicious actor will continue to send order to the machine, I need to block the endpoint to isolate it, to make sure that like a worm, it will not continue to spread further inside your company. Okay, so now look, it's blocked. Great. So we blocked, we isolated the machine. So as you can see on the right, for Sentinel-1, it's taking a couple of seconds to refresh, okay, the status. Because, and I'm fine with that Sentinel-1 is enforcing first the policy, which is more important than just to refresh the UI. So wait just a little bit, few seconds, to check the fact that we modify the policy. Okay, and not a trick on a Windows firewall, a Windows Defender, by the way, disabled by Sentinel-1, but just wait a few seconds. And here, your computer was disconnected in order to enforce and to be compliant with your security policy. Here we go. Great. So now I would like to unblock it. Okay, so can you unblock it? Okay. So again, I will await the answer from my EDR. And here it will be up again. Okay, let's check now. So boom, it's back again. And again, the same story. I need to wait here. The fact that the status is up and the initial policy is reverted back. So wait a little bit, a few seconds, please. Oh, Philippe, I saw you. Oh, sorry. And here we can see that we have the policy revert back. So in few minutes, we showed you that it was easy to block, to qualify, to integrate, easy to block a C2, easy to isolate a machine, easy to integrate, to know exactly what to do and so on. And it's exactly the purpose of GAIA. Nothing is more easier than an NDR, especially with our assistant. Thank you very much for your attention. And Philippe and I, we are pleased to answer to any question.
So I saw a question. So let me check. What foundation model is used to train GAIA, or is it built from scratch? It's a model already available as an open source model, but it's with fine tuning, a lot of fine tuning. So I don't know if it is the exact answer on what you are asking, but it's a mix of an open source model trained with our own data with fine tuning, a lot of fine tuning. The other question was how GAIA can give order to a EDR with API credential. Yeah, you will have, it's very, very simple. The goal is that if you want to do something, we make it very simple for you. You just have to get the API of, for example, Sentinel-1 or Palo Alto, Fortinet, I don't know, whatever. You just push the API and it will be able to communicate and to take action. Yeah. And so, yeah, very easy. Looks like a saw with Alexa feature to me. Not really. I'm not a fan of Alexa, to be honest. I will never put Alexa in my own arm and never in my company. So no, never. What are the type classes of data source you have used for training? Oh, you want internals. For example, can GAIA help me to create multiple events and show those as single attack? Yeah, yeah. Well, we are using a lot of MITRE tactics and techniques. I think that it's a very huge question, and Xavier could talk a lot of MITRE because he is a contributor of MITRE. So yes, we will be able to have a global kill chain with GAIA based on MITRE tactics. I think if you want to learn more about and about that, we will do a dedicated session because Xavier has a lot to tell about that.
And I am a
Uh,
chatterbox. So
yeah. So Gaia is used in cloud or on-premise? Very good question. First of all, we will release a cloud version, but we are a lot discussing because we have input from our clients to have an on-premise solution. So yes, definitely, we will work on an on-premise solution. We know how to do it, but it takes more time than an on-cloud solution. So, but yes. Um, and what difference between Gaia and Aya's solution on the market? Oh, well, let's say that the problem is AI is the use cases. You can take any solution of the market, but the very important thing is what you can do with that. So what we do against at Gatewatcher is we train on our own data, on our own product, and with our partners, with the partners API and etc. And we build GAIA, but it's not a matter of how we compare to other solutions of the market because there is no real comparison, to be honest, for the moment. Um, so, can it be used if we don't use Gatewatcher and DR? Well, in theory, yes, but we, of course, we optimize for a Gatewatcher environment. For example, we didn't talk about it, but you can take a screen of your Outlook email, and Gaia will be able to tell if it's a phishing link. It's not directly linked to Gatewatcher product, but Gaia is able to do that. So you don't need Gatewatcher for that. But of course, we optimize most of the maybe 99% of the use cases in Gaia will be optimized for Gatewatcher products. Um, Gaia is connected to other security tools as Sentinel, Palo Alto Fortinet. Yeah, yeah. We use API of the other product to be able to take response. And we have something called Reflex. Reflex is a product that will come soon at Gatewatcher. And Reflex is like a small SOAR, and we will integrate in the future Gaia in Reflex. Which open source you are using in Gaia? Or that's too much in our internal. Sorry. Is there a list of API supported? No, because the thing is, Gaia is able to handle an API and learn it. So it's not a matter of the endpoint of Gaia. You just give all the open API of a product, and it will learn by itself. So no problem with that. Okay, what license? Okay, for all license and pricing and everything, I think it's better is we have commercial for that. We are technical guys, so we just focus on technical things. So can Gaia integrate with Kaspersky? Yes, of course, of course. Yeah. Can it automatically trigger on an attack without human action? Yes, yes, it's done for that. Yeah, that's right. Is AI really the best way? Wow, a lot of questions. Best way to answer this use case, would it be more reliable to just have an isolate IP? Yeah, but we have both. In our product, you will have something called call action, and you can block inside Gatewatcher product. So I think in cybersecurity space, it really depends on how you manage cybersecurity. Some will use Gaia because it's quite simple and they are not cybersecurity expert. And some will want to use Gatewatcher product and use the web interface and use the API and script in Python. It really depends on the skills you have and the time you have. Isn't this in double with CM SOR integration? Well, if you do a lot of CM and SOR, it takes a lot of time, and the problem is how uh, we can shorten the time, and I think it integrates, GAIA integrates with CM and SOR, and we'll be able to correlate and uh, to permit that people focus in SOC, people focus on very advanced attacks, and will focus on the real job. I mean, so yeah, it's not a double. I think it will help on a day-to-day basis. And
And
can
if I
Microsoft
may,
Defender? Yeah, yeah, of course. Sorry.
and in addition, in fact, it's not the same market. Gartner itself
Yeah.
is not saying that it's the same market. But I'm not sure that even if you have the perfect CM, the perfect SOAR, you will cover any use cases, meaning that you will necessarily face some threats for which you have no correlation rule into your SIEM or no SOAR playbook already designed. And it's the purpose of the assistant. It's to interact with him, to qualify, to enrich, and to apply the right question, because you don't want to wait and to make correlation on your SIEM or to create your playbook into the SOAR. So it's definitely complementary solution.
And can Microsoft Defender integrate it? Yeah, of course. And I will say a lot, because we are working with Microsoft. We have a very strong partnership, and I think in the future we will have very crazy, interesting things to show with Microsoft Defender integration in GAIA. Believe me, it will be crazy. We'll do a lot of fine things. In brief, with GAIA, no more need CM and so on. No, you still need CM. You still need SOAR. It's just that GAIA will show you that you don't need as much time as before. If you do on yourself, you have to get Python skill. You have to take a lot of time to investigate, to look at a lot of logs, and GAIA will automatically do all of this. Yeah. So I hope, guys, that I did answer all the questions. I think we go over the time for the presentation. I'm sorry for that, but I hope that this presentation was great and you liked it. So thank you very much,
Thank
everybody,
you.
and see you soon. I hope so. See you
Have a good
soon.
day.
Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye.